Hey, how do you feel about some high rarity cards, or maybe some foreign ones, or maybe be ahead of the game with others by preparing for future set releases with very quick shipping? Check out EJ Gaming and use code British5 on checkout for 5% off on all your orders. Link in the description.
Greetings duelists and welcome to another video. So as you guys already know, a lot of people are preparing for Age of Overlord. This is going to be a set that's going to be released on October 19th. The sneak peek is going to be next weekend on the 14th, meaning that in less than a week from now, a lot of people are going to be having a lot of cards held into their hands and start testing for a lot of events, including YCS Indie. So a question that I was asked the other day was: is Unchained still going to be relevant despite a lot of cards in Age of Overlord in bolstering a lot of strategies and some of the stronger cards not helping out a deck like Unchained? So I'm here to tell you that yes, I think Unchained is still going to be a very strong deck. I think Age of Overlord actually helps out this deck a lot more than people think. There are going to be a number of cards that's going to like very significantly help this archetype, and it's very unsure how people are going to be playing this deck, but I just wanted to showcase one thing because there is a combo that you can do in this deck. It's specifically with tour guide. It's not like with any other cards. However, I feel like this is a perfect moment to just showcase you this because it just shows you one of the many things Unchained can do that maybe not many people are aware of. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin. I'm going to show you the combo with tour guide first, involving some cards in Ezreal, and then I'm going to talk about something that Unchained already has that's going to be better with something in the Ezreal deck. So now we're just going to summon Tour Guide. Tour Guide is going to summon us the Fiendish Rhino Warrior. So everybody's familiar with this. So now what we're going to do is, instead of summoning the Unchained Yama, we're going to Xyz summon. And you're probably thinking, you're not going to summon the DDD Darius with this, right? Like, there's no point. So what the card that we're going to summon is this card right here. This is a new card from Age of Overlord. It's called XYZ Armor Torpedo. So this card reads, it cannot attack unless it has material. You can detach 2 materials from this card, draw 1 card. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. While this card is equipped to a monster, apply these effects. 1. If the equipped monster battles until the end of the damage step, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects. Also, the effects of face-up monsters they control are negated. So this is a really strong effect. The first thing I want to tell you is that this effect does not start a chain. So let's say, for example, you're facing a Purely player and the Purely opponent has a X-Purely Noir on the board, and you have something equipped with this. The monster is equipped can just negate and shut down the X-Purely Noir, and the opponent cannot like interact with it because this is not an activated effect. But yeah, the second thing is the XYZ monster that is equipped with this card cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects. That's also really relevant. There's a lot of cards in this format target, so just having targeting protection for a key boss monster, like, just to give you one example, the Arsenal Zeus and the new one, the Doomstar Typhon, or the High King Caesar. Like, imagine you just summoning the DDD High King Caesar and just have it protected with the torpedo effect. This is really hard for your opponent to get rid of. It basically means that you need something to just like actually wipe it out of the board. Otherwise, like, this is just going to be very problematic for the opponent. So now what we're going to do is we're going to activate Torpedo's effect. We're going to detach 2 and draw 1. The Fiendish Rhino Warrior will trigger, and the Fiendish Rhino Warrior is just going to dump us an Unchained monster. We're going to either dump Charvara or like Shiyama. It really depends on your hand. Like, this is typical Unchained 101 at this point. So now what we're going to do is we're going to XYZ summon into XYZ Armored Fortress. So XYZ Armored Fortress is a rank 5 monster. However, it reads that you can use a rank 3 or a rank 4 you control as a material for it. Meaning that you can just rank up into this monster and there's nothing needed, it just needs any rank 3 or 4. So it doesn't really have to just be the Armored Torpedo, it could just be any of them. However, the Armored Torpedo is relevant here because of the following thing. This card with material, this card with a material cannot be used as a material for an XYZ summon. So basically, as long as this card has a material, you cannot XYZ over it. Once per turn, you can detach up to 2 materials from this card. Add the same number of armored XYZ cards from your deck to your hand. So we're going to do that, and there are 2 at this moment that we're speaking. There are 2 armor XYZ cards. I have one of them here, right here. The other one I don't have it in this deck. That card is not coming out until Maze of Millennium in January, which is a spell card. But we're just going to showcase you the trap card. This one does come out in Age of Overlord. So it's called Full Armored XYZ, and this card reads: if an XYZ monster is on the field, immediately after this effect resolves, XYZ summon 1 XYZ monster. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 XYZ monster you control, equip 1 other XYZ monster from your face-up field or graveyard to it as an equip spell with these effects. It gains attack equal to the attack of the monster equipped. If the XYZ monster, or the equipped monster rather, would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy the equip it instead. So this is added to our hand, and the field effect is not what's relevant here. What's going to be relevant for us is going to be like the graveyard effect. So what we're going to do here is we're going to set it, and we're just going to activate Chiyama's effect, and Chiyama just makes it so we can just pop it. There are many ways for you to do this. You can do this with that. You can do it with a Ruha's effect. You can pop it with Sarama, just to give like a couple of examples. Charvara is another thing that you can do. But now that this card's in the graveyard, now we can XYZ summon for this one, for the Dark Lancer. Remember, the XYZ Armor Fortress cannot be used as a XYZ material if it has materials. If it does not have materials, you can actually XYZ over it. And we're going to read Dark Lancer. This is a rank 7 that requires 3 level 7 monsters. So basically the same materials for Kashtira Arise Heart. But you're not going to summon this in a Kashtira deck, I can tell you that. Once per turn, you can also XYZ summon using a rank 5 or 6 you control. So pretty much the same thing. We're using a rank 5, we're just ranking it up. And transfer the materials. It gains 300 for each material attached to it. So right now it has 3100 attack. Once per turn, you can target 1 XYZ card in your graveyard. It doesn't actually have to be full armor XYZ. There's a lot of cards in the game with XYZ in the name, so this targets a lot of them. And just add it to your hand. Once per turn, if an equip card becomes equipped to a monster you control, you can attach 1 monster your opponent controls to this card as material. Take note that this does not target. So this is really, really strong. So we have the option to grab the trap card back from the graveyard. However, we kind of want it in the graveyard, because then if your opponent interacts with you in any way, you can just banish this, grab the torpedo, equip it to the full lancer, and now the full lancer can take an opponent's monster. And take note that because of Armor Torpedo's effect, the monster cannot be targeted by card effects, and because of full armor Xyz effect, the equipped monster gains attack, and if it would be destroyed by any means, you just destroy the torpedo instead. So this is really, really hard to out if this resolves. And take note, this is just a combo with just Tour Guide. Like, Tour Guide just makes this combo possible. And if you have like other Unchained extenders, you can just start doing like Unchained plays like normal. Remember, if you do like Charvara's effect or Aruha's effect, you are locked into Fiends. If you do Rakea's effect, you are also locked into Fiends. But if you do this combo beforehand, you are not locked. So that's one thing to note. So now we do Aruha. Aruha activates Escape. Escape is just going to summon us from the deck. We can summon Charvara here, for example. Or we can just like do something like Sorama. We can link this into the into the Yama. Like do Yama's effect and do Charvara's effect. So now we do Yama, Yama and Charvara. Charvara is going to set up the chamber. And the Yama is going to add us back to Charvara. Let's pretend this is in the graveyard and this is in the graveyard still. Because now what we can do is we can do full Lancer, detach, grab us the full armor. And this is just showing you how flexible this engine is in the Unchained deck. We can pop the chamber, we can summon Charvara, use Chamber's effect, summon the Sarama. So now Sarama is summoned. We can overlay these two into the Hiking Caesar. And then we can set the full armor, use Sarama's effect, grab the escape, put it in the spell and trap, pop the full armored. Now the full armor is in the graveyard. Now you got the extra value out of it. And then we can just link these two away into the Unsoul Rage. And if you notice, this is pretty much the same combo that many people do in the Unchained deck. The only difference is you also have the full armor Lancer. And something really cool is for full armor Dark Lancer's effect to attach a monster, it does not have to involve it being equipped with an XYZ monster. It can be any XYZ. So something you can do is you can banish the full armor XYZ on your opponent's turn. You can equip the torpedo to the Hiking Caesar. The Hiking Caesar is now protected by the torpedo. And now the Dark Lancer triggers and it will gain a material like from the board. And this is really strong because now like it makes it so your opponent has to try to destroy this by destroying the torpedo, and the torpedo makes it so it cannot be targeted. So that protects you from stuff like Ultimate Slayer, just to give you like one example. Now that we're here on this end board and just showcasing you like one of the new things that Unchained can do, let's talk about another new thing that we can do. So you guys are already familiar with the escape like rage interaction. We can just use escape, pop the rage, and then banish the Yama, and Yama's effect just brings back the rage. So that's like one interaction that we have. So another new interaction that is going to be bolstered with Age of Overlord is because of Rage's effect. If you use a special summon monster, you can XYZ summon into SP Little Knight. And SP Little Knight is a dark monster, meaning that it is a monster that is valid for Unchained Soul of Rage's summon. And I don't think I need to explain this card. I think everybody already knows how strong this card is. So yeah, like this is just one of many examples that you can like incorporate into the Unchained strategy, and just makes Unchained like really really strong post Age of Overlord. So yeah, for those people who were dubious and thought that Unchained wouldn't get stronger like post Age of Overlord, this is just like showcasing you a few example. I think the any deck that can play Xyz monsters is a deck that's going to welcome the full armor lancer package. In another video, we can talk about Gen and Ken, which is like a warrior combo that involves 2 level 3 monsters. There are TCG exclusives. Oh, those cards can also work with the full armor combo. As long as any deck can make rank 3s. Like, if you're playing Turgat in your deck, like, the full armor package is really welcome. Especially in a deck like Unchained, where you just have a plethora of extenders for you to just full combo your board alongside the full armor package. But yeah, I hope you found this informative. I hope you found this to your liking. More Age of Overlord content coming soon. Keep practicing and keep dueling.